They say hell opens not with fire but with fur. In the depths of the old Ashridge Asylum, long shuttered, long condemned, there lies a hallway no blueprint claims. Its walls whisper, its ceilings breathe, and in its vents, something watches. No, not something. Someone. A glowing feline figure with eyes like stoked embers and a body that blurs between this world and the next. They call it Giga Cat. But don't be fooled by the name, it's no beast, it's a judge, ancient and terrible, watching every scream, every twitch, every transformation, and deciding who remains beast and who returns to man. This is not your typical werewolf transformation story. This is a tale of identity loss, of bloodlines cursed by secrets, of redemption found not in salvation, but in suffering. Tonight we descend into the werewolf asylum, where horror legends were born and where one woman is about to learn that in the face of supernatural judgment, survival isn't earned by running. It's earned by watching. So listen closely, because before the last light dies and the padded doors slam shut, you might want to leave your mark. Like this story, share it, subscribe to stay tethered, and turn on that bell, because in this place, even the silence howls. Welcome to the cat that watched hell, and remember, he sees you too. The wind had a voice in Ashridge, not a howl, not a whistle, but something closer to breath, hot, sour, and old. The kind of air that seeped through stone and whispered things you couldn't quite make out, but still made you flinch. Clara Bell arrived just past dusk. Her car, a battered silver sedan still coated in city dust, rolled up the cracked service road toward the asylum like it was afraid to be noticed. The trees lining the path were skeletal, leafless even in spring, and at the end of the road, the building waited. Ashridge Behavioral Correctional Institute for the Cursed and Blood-Touched. That was the name etched into the rusted front gate. Beneath it, someone had spray-painted over the word correctional with another, condemned. Clara was here to sign papers. That's what the lawyer told her. Just papers. Her uncle, the last bell in the line, had passed quietly in his sleep. No obituary, no service. Just a key, a deed, and a warning. Don't stay past sundown. But paperwork takes time, and now the sun was gone. Inside, the asylum reeked of antiseptic rot. Time hadn't stopped here. It had mutated. Files still littered the nurses' station. Old gurneys lined the walls like they might be needed at any moment, and the fluorescent lights buzzed like angry flies. Some flickered, most stayed dead. She passed portraits hung too low. Names beneath them. Patients, donors, orderlies. The cursed one was blank, a charred hole where the frame should be. Just claw marks left in the wall. She didn't ask. She reached the office at the heart of the building, her uncle's study. The key still worked. Inside was dust, books, and a single voice recorder sitting atop a leather-bound folder. She pressed play. If you've found this, Clara, then you've ignored my warnings. That's unfortunate, because the Bell family, we were never healers. We were jailers. This place wasn't built to cure them. It was built to contain them. There is one left. I've kept him alive. Barely. He's not dangerous unless you make him fail. His trial begins every night at moonrise. He's not the only thing here. Something older watches him. Something you must not interfere with. If you hear purring, do not run. If you hear scratching, do not hide. And if you see the cat, God help you, just pray you're not the one being judged. The tape clicked off. Then the door locked behind her. In the corner of the office, a vent cover fell open with a clatter. Clara turned. Two glowing eyes stared down at her. Not yellow, not green. Red, like burning coal. The cat didn't blink. It didn't need to. Clara didn't move, not because she was brave, but because something primal told her not to. Those red eyes in the vent didn't blink, didn't flinch. They just watched, like they weren't seeing her body, but something beneath it. Her thoughts, her shame, her blood. Then, without a sound, the cat was gone. She turned to the door, still locked. Her flashlight flickered, then died. A moment later, the intercom crackled to life like a dying radio station tuning itself through pain. Observation room, sub-level B. The voice wasn't human, not anymore. It was distorted, half growl, half sob, as if the speaker was trying to hold back something inside. Or maybe keep something out. She should have run. She didn't. Instead, she took the basement stairwell, each step colder, each breath harder to swallow. The walls grew moist with something thicker than water, the kind of damp that clung to your lungs. Then she heard it, a long animal moan. Not a roar. Not yet. Something becoming. The observation room was sealed with a biolock, but someone had jammed it open with a wrench. She slipped through the narrow gap. The room beyond was a viewing chamber, one-way glass, monitors dead, an old blood-stained couch behind the glass, and beyond it, a patient cell. Inside the cell, something moved. Not fast, not slow, but deliberate. It hunched in the corner, bones misshapen under too pale skin, its back convulsed like something was trying to climb out from inside it. One hand was still human, the other wasn't. Fur had begun to sprout, nails now claws, and its voice, his voice, broke the air like cracked glass. Don't help me. His head turned, revealing eyes that flickered between man and moonlight, amber and white. You'll ruin it. He's watching. He's always watching. She followed his gaze. There, in the upper corner of the cell, perched on a torn vent grill, was the cat Giga Cat, not a pet, not a hallucination. Something else. It didn't hiss, it didn't blink. It watched with the focus of something ancient, as if it had seen thousands fail before this one and wasn't rooting for anyone. Who are you? Clara asked through the speaker. The man didn't answer. His ribs cracked outward, one at a time. You think this is a curse? He muttered. It's not, it's a trial. I was born with it, but I don't have to end with it. If I resist long enough, I win. His eyes locked on hers. But if I lose, you'll need to run. He grinned, bleeding between his teeth. And running won't save you. And Clara, breath shallow, whispered something into the mic. Into the dark, as if speaking to the watchers, not just the watched. If anyone can hear me, leave a sign, a light, a word, before it's too late. You, too, listener, if you've heard their voices this far, like, share. Leave your mark in the dark, because what comes next bites. Clara stood frozen behind the glass, heart hammering like a countdown. The man in the cell, his name still unknown, was changing. Not like the movies. There was no sudden pop of fur or cartoonish snout. No dramatic scream and done. This was slower, angrier, crueler. His spine arched backward with a sound like tearing roots. He grabbed the wall for support, human fingers curling into claws before his eyes. His skin split in strips along his forearms, revealing coarse black fur beneath, patchy, and pulsing with heat, and through it all he whispered, "It's not the pain that kills you, it's the choice." The cat still sat above, unmoving, unblinking, judging. Clara pressed the intercom again. What choice? He lifted his head, half wolf now. His jaw was extending, stretching with every sentence. To feed or to endure. If I attack, the beast wins. The cat watches, waiting to see if I fall. He convulsed. His ribs shifted. Something cracked and his neck snapped sideways, only to reset again. His eyes glowed full amber now. But if I endure, if I fight it, the cat grants me peace. Clara stepped closer to the glass. And if you don't, he paused, then smiled, full of blood. Then we both die. The lights went out, not a flicker, a blackout. When emergency red strobes came on, Clara was alone in the observation room. The cell was open, and there, in the doorway, stood the werewolf, half-formed, towering, shoulders broken and refused into unnatural breadth. One eye human, the other a glowing inferno. Mouth twisted between a scream and a howl. He did not lunge, he knelt. Run, while I still remember your face. And from the ceiling above him, the cat leapt down silently, circling his body, not as prey, not as predator, but as witness. Behind Clara, the hallway lights began to buzz. Something else had woken. The facility was no longer sealed to just them. The doors had opened for the next trial. and the cat would judge them all. Clara ran, not aimlessly, but toward something familiar. Her uncle's office, the only place with files, names, records, answers. Behind her, the facility groaned. Doors she hadn't touched creaked open on their own, each one marked not by a number, but a claw-marked glyph burned into the metal. Not all the cursed were wolves. Some had been other things, creatures that had once been men, some that never were. The halls moaned with the sounds of ancient lungs. Clara passed an open rec room. Inside, a chessboard lay mid-game. The pieces were not plastic. They were teeth. She didn't stop. She made it to the archive. Dust choked the air. Files yellowed, crumbling. But she found it. One file, one name circled in red. Subject, Eli Rook. Bloodline type, Lichen Prime. Notes scrawled in pencil. Progressive moral resistance shows signs of control. Daily trials overseen by feline witness entity. Subject states, he watches, he waits. If I resist, I live. Last evaluation, 3,076 days ago. Still, not fully turned. Clara's hands trembled. Eli Rook wasn't the last patient. He was the longest one still trying, a thud behind her. She spun, only to see a figure crawling through the open vent above the archive shelves. It wasn't the cat. It was a child, but wrong. Hairless, pale. Its eyes entirely black, limbs long. Too long. It had no mouth until it opened one. Its voice came from its chest. The unjudged don't sleep. We remember, Clara screamed. It lunged, but something intercepted. A streak of black. A flash of red light. Giga Cat, the child beast, slammed against the wall, hissing like boiling water. And the cat stood atop its chest, its eyes glowing like twin hells. One swipe of its paw and the creature unraveled, not with gore, but with light, as if it had never truly existed here. Giga Cat turned toward Clara. No growl, no blink, just acknowledgement. In that moment, she understood. The cat didn't serve the beasts. It judged the souls within them. And now, it was judging her. And so, dear listener, another trial ends. Not with death, but with judgment passed. Thank you for surviving the horrors of the cat that watched hell. But remember, what you've witnessed tonight is just the beginning. The darkness here doesn't disappear. It watches, and it waits for the next scream, for the next soul, and maybe for you. So if you're still with us, leave a mark before the moon fades. Like, share, comment what you would choose, resist or succumb. And for those who hunger for more, step deeper into the shadows with our Ultimate Werewolf Horror playlist, linked in the description below. In the world of horror, the scariest things happen when you least expect them, and trust me, you don't want to be left in the dark. Welcome to the darkness. The hallway trembled under the force of the battle. Eli roared beneath the other wolf, pinned and bleeding. His claws scraped at the tiles, not to strike, but to hold back the part of him that wanted to kill. He was still resisting, still choosing, pain over surrender. But it wasn't enough. Clara stood frozen, Giga Cat before her, tail curled like a question mark carved in flame. Its red glow swelled, illuminating the faces of both beasts. And then it moved. Not toward them, but toward her. It stepped into her shadow, and everything stopped. Time, sound, movement, except for thought. Her mind filled with visions, memories not her own. Thousands of trials, men and women chained in cells. Children born cursed, each screaming, begging, transforming. And always the cat, watching, waiting, judging. But what was he looking for? Not power. Not submission, choice, always choice. And in that moment, Clara understood she had one. Eli cried out in pain, his body buckling under the crushing weight of the other wolf. Clara didn't think. She ran, not away, toward them. She grabbed the jagged metal pipe from the floor and threw it, not at the wolf pinning Eli, but between them. A distraction. The beast turned. Eli surged upward, one final roar. He didn't rip, he didn't tear. He grappled, He restrained. And then the other wolf began to convulse. Its form flickered, not from injury, from judgment. It let out a strangled gasp and began to unravel, like a thread pulled loose from reality. One flicker at a time, it dissolved into dust. Silence followed. Gigacat stepped between the steam and shadow, tail flicking once, and finally he spoke. Not in words, but in knowing. The beast chose mercy, the witness chose courage. Both will live. Clara turned to Eli. He was no longer a monster, just a man, shivering, bleeding, but whole. They locked eyes, and for a moment, just a breath. They weren't cursed or hunted or trapped. They were seen, and the cat gone. And so, dear listener, another trial ends. Not with death, but with judgment passed. Thank you for surviving the horrors of the cat that watched hell. But remember, what you've witnessed tonight is just the beginning. The darkness here doesn't disappear. It watches, and it waits for the next scream, for the next soul, and maybe for you. So if you're still with us, leave a mark before the moon fades. Like, share, subscribe, and comment what you would choose, resist, or succumb. And for those who hunger for more, step deeper into the shadows with our Ultimate Werewolf Horror playlist, linked in the description below. In the world of horror, the scariest things happen when you least expect them, and trust me, you don't want to be left in the dark. Welcome to the darkness.